That was truly wild. Good morning, all. Some of you may have had a grandmother who told endless stories. Anybody? You'd wiggle and you'd squirm while she rattled on about folks you never knew, places you'd never heard of, and all her stories began when I was a child. So, you're in for it. When I was a child, my friend Mary Christine and I were playing in the sandbox. Mary Christine was much older than I. She was already in first grade, and she could even read. I felt serious envy of her for many reasons. One being the fact that her parents have given her a fancy double name, and I was Jane. She whispered to me a big grown-up secret. Nazi submarines had been spotted in nearby Baltimore Harbor. Ooh, I wasn't to tell anyone. Of course, I immediately ran home to tell my mother, who comforted me as best as she could. But at bedtime, I made my dad look under the bed, in the closet, behind the curtains for any hidden Nazis who might be hiding there, hoping to steal a little girl. When the war was over, I figured we would all now live happily ever after. Not. In those intervening years, I have fretted my way through the Vietnam War, the Cuban Missile Crisis, the ongoing battle for equality for blacks and gays, the assassinations, Watergate, the McCarthy hearings, too many wars, the pandemic, and that's just a few. Before too long, these events will warrant a line or two in a high school history book, or whatever the next equivalent is. It will be memorized for the final exam and forgotten by the end of the term. But remember this: our grandmothers and their grandmothers all had long litanies of the tragedies of the world that happened in their lifetimes. And so it goes back to that terrible day when Cain slew Abel. Ever since, our planet, our country, have suffered murder, mayhem, menace, madness, meanness. I ran out of M's. Almost without ceasing. The monsters remain under the bed. The current monster runs amok, slaying dragons that don't exist, creating havoc and uncertainty in our beloved yet imperfect country. While we bemoan the monster du jour, we have a second monster that I sometimes overlook. Before our Civil War, or thereabouts, news was delivered west of the mountains by the Pony Express, with the New York Post hot off its presses a week or so before. The news came to folks who had never seen the places or heard of the items under the discussion. The news most likely went unnoticed or read quickly and then forgotten. What was the news? The real news was the local news: the fire at the Greens barn, the birth of twin calves, the failure of the crop. Today, the news is with us, always, always, always. You can't pick up your phone to make a call without catching a headline. 24/7 TV news has to fill the space by interviewing obscure professors from obscure universities for their opinion on a fine matter of the law or military strategy. Pundits project, wizards forecast the outcome, historians explain how we got into this mess. The news, the fake news, the alternate news bombards us from all corners of the universe, the left, the right, the up, the down, the lunatic fringe, the airheads. And it comes so fast. Temples were still shaking in Bangkok when I got the word that there was an earthquake there. No wonder we're all scared silly. There are monsters everywhere. Where is the joy when the misery and meanness rain down from above in a constant barrage? The instant news is contributing to a serious case of global anxiety. I know as well as you do that much is rotten in the state of Denmark, soon to be without Greenland. So, where's the joy? Let's see if we can slay or at least subdue these monsters. I will not attempt to excuse or explain the current appalling national situation. A bunch of so-called leaders with no values at all, trying to tear down what is good, what is needed, what is important in our government. But let's try this on for size. I think our joy comes in doing. We all do our best to be useful. Here at ORUUC, we support, you name it, Fruit for Kids, Stone Soup, the Food Pantry, Ecumenical Storehouse, for starters. We split the plate. Members of our congregation volunteer, you know this, for the free medical clinic, ADFAC, Torch, the Blossom Center. Many were instrumental in carrying out the hard work of developing these agencies. Our successful, again, yay, rummage sale offered quality goods for a pittance of their initial value, helping friends and neighbors find a good winter coat, a houseware item, or a hardly used toy for a little one. And when the last table is returned to its owner, and don't forget to pick them up, the last bit of debris swept away, the pews returned to their proper positions, thank you, Michael. All 115 of us who helped in one way or another can feel the joy of seeing a worthwhile job well done. The joy comes in looking back and seeing that our efforts have made a big difference in our neighborhood community, and that difference is ongoing. Have you heard the laughter in the kitchen as the Stone Soup crew packs meals for the takeout that goes with our monthly free sit-down dinner? Have you pulled, pushed, sweated together, loading a truck for clients at the Ecumenical Storehouse for families who had lost everything or were starting out with practically nothing, and felt good later as that truck pulled away, folks ready to set up their new home? Countless hours are donated to ADFAC, United Way, helping with small chores as unpaid volunteers. Are you among them? Many of you are. Do you feel the joy when an issue the family has been dealing with has been resolved, an electricity bill paid, the lights stayed on? ORUUC played a major role in creating the Blossom Center, where struggling parents can leave a little one with sliding scale fees safely most hours of the day, 7 days a week. Were you there when that old church building for the Blossom Center was purchased and refurbished? Did you know that UU electricians organized redoing the wiring? I'm looking at you guys. Hours were given for the construction crew, making sure the building was up to code for the safety of the WE clients. And several of our UU gardeners helped create a vegetable patch so that the kids could see where the vegetables came from and how they are used for a nutritious lunch. Were you among them? What about that free medical clinic that now has 3 locations and provides almost $10 million worth of care to the rural and uninsured in our neighborhood? Were you there? Have you helped? Many of us were there, and many continue to volunteer. Together, we slay those local monsters that make it more difficult for members of our wider community to function. Our joy comes in being part of this UU community, where there are no strangers, only new friends that we are anxious to meet. Beyond our do-gooding, we find friendships, opportunities to play, to share our deepest convictions, to hear, really hear, what others are thinking or worrying about. Our circles of trust deepen that sharing. Our small group ministries, the ukulele group, the drama group, the knitting and crochet folks, even the cribbage players find a home here. We have potlucks, Zentangle, coffee houses, and what may actually be the world's biggest birthday party. We share laughter and tears. We care for each other in dozens of quiet ways, as well as the noisy ones. Joy comes in being together, in doing together. May I suggest that in the brief time remaining in our lives, we make time for doing what brings us joy. Our lives are but short blips on the clock of the universe. Are we to spend these precious days wrapped in angst and uncertainty? I don't plan on it. And after I've sent off yet more emails begging our Congress folks for sensible action, and after volunteered where I can to be of help, I turn to my hobbies, my reading, my doing, and find the joy there. As the song says, you gotta do what the Spirit says do. In spite of it all, when the end is near and you have more past than future, you'll look back with quiet joy, remembering the good times that at the time were actually just kind of normal, everyday stuff. So wherein lies your joy? It's there. Take the time to notice it, embrace it. But please remember, at the end of each day, after you have walked the dog for the last time, you hope, locked the front door, turned off the lights, the very last thing you do is pick up the dust rubble and peer under the bed. A monster will be lurking there, I assure you, along with dust bunnies and that sock you thought you lost. But the monster will be there, and here's what you do. Remember from the book, be still. Speak gently and say, good night, monster, be still. Do have a good sleep, and please, whatever you do, don't snore. May it be so.